Hey guys, welcome back to another Halloween video. So today we're doing this little creepy scarecrow that ate the crow. This video actually blew up a bit on my Instagram. I think it's at like 200 something thousand views, which is really exciting. So let me catch you up here. I started off with a white base. I used Ben Nye Clown White face paint and I blocked out my brows before I did that. And I just used my Luminous Cosmetics Tarot palette to give myself some blush, and now I'm mapping out these circles around my eyes where I'm going to be putting my fake buttons. So what I did was I actually used the top of my Suva Beauty Hydro Liners and I outlined it in Mayron Paradise paint, and then I kind of just like stamped out circles. I think I made them a little too close together, so I ended up kind of like making them further apart anyway, so I didn't actually follow the circle stamp. But now I'm filling it in with Mayron Cream Black Face Paint from my Bruise palette, and then setting it with some matte black eyeshadow from my Morphe palette. And then I went in my waterlines with Pretty Vulgar's Epic Ink Gel Liner. Honestly, I did all these steps because I didn't know exactly how I was going to do my button, and I wanted to make sure if I had any holes that it was still black underneath, but I don't know how necessary all that was. But anyway, now I'm doing the nose. I'm using orange from my Mayron Paradise paint palette, and I'm just making a little like triangle thing and then shading it with my orangey red color from my Suva Beauty Cupcakes and Monsters palette, and I'm just kind of shading around the edges inward just to give it some more dimension. And then I highlighted the tip of my nose using my Violet Voss Rainbow palette. So I got this roll of straw ribbon from Michael's for a few dollars, and I cut a piece off to use for texture. So I painted over it with some Mayron colors, some browns and yellows, and I kind of just went all over, dabbing it around my face. If you don't have this, you could also probably use a stippling sponge. It's just I was curious what kind of texture this would make, and I already had the roll because I'm going to be putting it around my neck later. And I had this piece of black cardboard. I don't even know what this is. It came with a free t-shirt I got at Comic-Con, so I was like, I'll just use this because it was easy to cut. So I don't know, you could use cardboard or cardstock, but I basically cut it into a circle and then put my spatula through the center just to create a little hole for my eye so I could see, and then I just, you know, painted the edges black so you couldn't see any of the white. Now this is my Mayron Sin Wax. So now anytime you work with the wax, you want to coat your hands and fingers in Vaseline or oil just so it doesn't stick to you. And I just made this little teeny little sausage thing that I'm put around the eye button thing just so that it would sit on my eye, because otherwise it won't sit flat on your eye, and I wanted to be able to open my eyes and see. So now I'm just painting the outer edge black to hide the wax, and then I took some white Paradise paint and I made these little stitches, I guess. I don't know, I looked at pictures of buttons on other scarecrows and I created this little like highlight, I guess. I don't even know what that little circle was on top, but I put it there. And now I'm just putting this straw ribbon around my neck, tied it, and I got this witch hat off Amazon, and that decorative stuff I got from Michael's. So now I'm going to cover my mouth. I patted my mouth area with some translucent powder just to absorb any moisture so the tape would stick better, and I taped over my lips. And my first attempt was the Sin Wax. I tried to blend that in over my mouth, and to be honest, I don't like Mayron's synthetic wax. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'm using it wrong, but Ben Nye's Nose and Scar Wax I find much easier to work with, so maybe that would have worked. But anyway, I ended up using my trustworthy 3rd degree silicone, and I taped my mouth again, and then I went over that with the silicone and blend the edges of that. You could dip your finger in some alcohol and blend out the edges, let it dry. When it's tacky, you could dab it with a textured sponge just to give it a more skin-like feel. And then I went over that when it was actually dry with my little piece of ribbon again, just for some more paint texture. Now I'm painting my fake stitched smile with my Mayron Black Paradise paint, and I made little like C's around where the blush went, and you can use a reference photo of a scarecrow. I wanted it to look like those cute but creepy little stuffed animal kind of scarecrows. I'll put a picture up. And now I'm just putting those little stitches all the way down the mouth. Now for the eyebrows, I used my Mayron paint again, and what I did was I took a thin brush, and then in order to get the outer edges thinner and the inner part more thick, I painted in one swoop, but I started off with lighter pressure, then moved to more pressure, and then lighter again, if that makes sense. And last thing you want to do is pop those little fake buttons back on your eyes. I use spirit gum to make mine stick, and then if you want, you could stick some black feathers on and spray some fake blood, and you're done.